You are standing behind a counter at 6 in the morning. The smell of coffee is in your clothes, your hair, your skin. You have not taken a day off in 11 months. Your savings account has a number in it that makes your chest tight every time you open the app. And somewhere across town, a former classmate clocks into his office job at 8 a.m., leaves at 5, and earns more than you did last month. This is not a story about passion. This is not a story about following your dream. Here is the only number that matters before we start: 6 out of every 10 coffee shops in Vietnam close before their second anniversary. Not because the owners were lazy. Not because the coffee was bad. Because the math was always wrong, and nobody told them before they signed the lease. This video will walk you through every stage of owning a coffee shop, the real costs, the real hours, and the real reason most people quietly disappear from the industry without ever posting a goodbye story. If you are already in it, this will feel uncomfortably familiar. If you are thinking about starting, watch this before you transfer that deposit. Level 1, months 1 to 3, the honeymoon. You spent between 200 and 400 million VND to get here. Renovation, equipment, the espresso machine you justified because quality matters, the neon sign, the branded cups, the Instagram-worthy pendant lights. You signed a lease on a space with decent foot traffic and paid 3 months deposit up front, money that is now legally someone else's until you decide to leave. The first weekend, the shop is full. Friends come. Family comes. Strangers come because the exterior looks good and the Google Maps listing just went live. You are pulling in 80 to 120 million VND a month in revenue. The numbers feel real. You start doing the math in your head: if every month is like this, and the fantasy runs ahead of you faster than you can stop it. You post the revenue on your private story. People react with fire emojis. What you do not post: the cost of goods is eating 30 million. Rent is 20 million. Your 2 staff members cost 25 million combined. Utilities, packaging, maintenance, the replacement pitcher you broke on day 9, another 10 to 15 million, quietly. You are not calculating depreciation yet. You do not even know what your cash burn rate is. You are too busy making coffee and feeling like you made the right decision. The honeymoon does not end with a fight. It ends with a spreadsheet. Level 2, months 4 to 8, reality hits. By month 4, the novelty is gone. Your regulars have settled into a pattern, or they have not come back at all. The friends who checked in on opening week have moved on. Foot traffic drops. You run a promotion. It helps for 11 days. Then it stops helping. Your monthly revenue is now sitting at 90 to 100 million VND. On paper, that still sounds like a business. Then you open the actual numbers. Rent, 20 million. Non-negotiable. The landlord does not care about your churn rate. Staff, 25 million. 2 people, minimum wage plus a small incentive you promised them in month 1. Raw materials, beans, milk, syrups, disposable cups, straws, cleaning supplies, 28 to 32 million. Utilities, Wi-Fi, POS subscription, platform fees if you deliver, 8 to 10 million. Unexpected repairs, restocking broken equipment, the month your ice machine stopped working and you rented one for 2 weeks, 5 million, conservatively. Total outgoing, 86 to 92 million. You are left with somewhere between 2 and 10 million VND. Before tax. Before your own salary, which you stopped drawing in month 5 because the account could not support it. You worked 16 hours a day, 7 days a week, for a net return that a supermarket cashier earns without touching their savings, without carrying debt, without lying awake at 2 a.m. recalculating whether next month will be different. The sunk cost is the cruelest part. You cannot get the renovation money back. You cannot recover the 3-month deposit unless you walk away entirely. Every day you stay open, you are not just running a business, you are betting that tomorrow will justify everything you already lost. Most people do not walk away. Not yet. Because walking away feels like failure. Staying feels like hope. The difference between the two, at this stage, is almost impossible to see. Level 3, Year 2, Pivot or Die. You let one staff member go in month 10. You told yourself it was temporary. It was not temporary. You are now opening the shop alone at 6 a.m., grinding beans, wiping tables, taking orders, running the register, and closing at 9 p.m. The labor-cost ratio improved. Everything else got worse. Your body is running on caffeine and the psychological inertia of someone who has told too many people this was going to work. This is the year the business forces a binary decision. Either you find a USP, a defensible reason for customers to choose you over the shop 2 blocks away, or you begin the slow, quiet process of dying. A USP in this market means something specific, a signature drink nobody else has, a community angle, a delivery-only model that cuts rent exposure, a co-working concept that charges for time instead of coffee. Vague ideas about quality and atmosphere are not a USP. They are what every failing shop owner says in the interview after they close. The ones who pivot correctly start to stabilize. Revenue does not explode, it just stops bleeding. The ones who do not pivot face a different math problem. If you exit now, you lose the deposit, gone, contractually. Your furniture and equipment, the pieces you spent $80 million furnishing, will sell at 30 cents on the dollar on second-hand marketplaces. Buyers know you are desperate. They negotiate accordingly. And at home, the conversations have changed. Your partner has watched the joint savings account drain for 18 months. The arguments are no longer about the business. They are about trust, about the version of the future you sold them before you signed the lease. In the F&B world, the divorce rate among first-time owners is not a statistic people publish, but the people inside the industry know exactly what Year 2 does to a marriage. Level 4, Year 3 and beyond, Survival. If you are still open at month 36, you are statistically unusual. You are in the 30 to 40% that did not close, did not surrender the lease in the middle of the night, did not post the "thank you for your support" farewell graphic that everyone recognizes as the last thing a shop posts before going dark. But surviving is not the same as winning. To actually generate a livable income from a single coffee shop in Vietnam, your monthly revenue needs to clear 200 to 300 million VND. At that volume, after rent, staff, now you can afford to rehire, raw materials, utilities, and platform commissions, your net margin lands at roughly 15 to 20%. That translates to 30 to 50 million VND per month in real, drawable profit. That is a decent income. It took you 3 years, 300 to 400 million in initial capital, somewhere between 500 and 700 million in cumulative operating costs across the full timeline, and a personal toll that does not appear anywhere on a balance sheet. To reach 200 million in monthly revenue, you are serving a high volume of customers consistently, every single day, with no major equipment failures, no bad review cycles, no road construction blocking your entrance, no new competitor opening 40 meters away. Every one of those things has happened to someone who thought they had finally stabilized. The margin for error at this level is thin. The difference between profitable and break-even is sometimes one bad month, a slow TET season, a staff walkout, a landlord who decides to raise rent by 25% at renewal because they watched your shop get busy and recalculated their leverage. You are not fragile anymore. But you are never not exposed. Outro, the exit. The ones who make it to year 5 stop making coffee. Not because they burned out, though most of them did, at least once. They stopped because the business finally taught them the only lesson that matters: your labor is the most expensive thing on the payroll. So you hire a manager. You build a second location. You license the brand. You become the person who reads the weekly report on a Sunday morning instead of the person who cleans the steam wand on a Sunday morning. You exited the grind. You did not exit the risk. You just moved it one level up and put someone else's hands on the counter. Some mornings you still come in early. Not to work, just to check. And standing near the entrance, you see someone new behind the bar. Young. Moving fast. Slightly overwhelmed. Smiling anyway, because the shop just opened 2 months ago and the revenue looks good and they have not yet opened the spreadsheet that changes everything. You remember that feeling exactly. You do not warn them. You order your coffee, leave a fair tip, and walk out into a morning that belongs to you now, paid for by years that did not.